Now, retiring early may sound great, but are you really ready for it? Here's a woman on TikTok who retired at the age of 54.
I can tell you that retiring early wasn't the dream for me. And as luxurious as it sounds to sleep in every single day, it's not. I had always loved Fridays, but when you have suddenly 6 Saturdays and a Sunday, Friday loses its magic. And when Friday lost its magic, I lost my sparkle.
Reminds me of kids during the summer where, the first month it's a lot of fun, and then by the end of it they're kind of bored. I mean, having the finances to retire early is certainly one thing, but when you guys talk and develop plans with people, do you also talk to them about what they're retiring to?
I think it really does. It comes down of going from success to significance. It comes about of, how do you take everything that you've worked your lifetime to accumulate and go from a point in your life to make significance in the world, some of the things that are important to you, and taking a look at things. I could say that, I wouldn't mind a test drive of retirement for a little while. I think, I did some great things with my kids during spring break, and I could see myself on another cruise ship eating endless amounts of ice cream. But I know at some point, right, my pants won't fit anymore.
Sure, right.
And I'm going to have to get up and stay healthy. And even at home, I mean, if I lay around the house over a weekend and I don't get a couple projects done, I feel like I kind of wasted the weekend. So there is part of that, but there's also part of, this is giving you an opportunity. I think when we talk with the retirees that we work with, I think they all have a dream and a vision for what retirement is. And I'd say the first thing that I would say when I'm talking with clients is their first thought is freedom. Right. They want to be able to retire when they want to retire on the terms that they want to retire. And they want to know that they're not going to have to go back later in life and be forced to work. And I mean, if they find something that they want to do, then, they can do that as a choice. But I think that's a big part of it. And helping people write out kind of what that blueprint looks like in the future is something that's really important. In fact, it's something so important. We're going to be having an event coming up. It's June 13th. June 13th, we're having an event over at Hooves, which is where we use rescue horses to rescue veterans with post-traumatic stress. Amanda Held and our group and our team, I can't think of a better mission than what they're doing with helping people write that blueprint for life. So you get to come meet some of the new wild Mustangs that we just rescued from California. I think we're the only organization that I know of in Northwest Ohio that has wild Mustangs. To see some of our other horses, to actually starting to talk about how do you write that blueprint for your life? How do you write a blueprint for success to significance, and how can you take those steps? That event, just a heads up, it's June 13th over at Hooves here in Toledo, Ohio area. Of course, all of our events are online at arhq.com. You can sign up for that event if you're going to retire early, or even if you're going to retire later in life. That's how you could do that. But I know that you run into this, guys, too. And so when you talk to people, I think, Scott, I would say in your situation when people are looking to retire early, I know health insurance is probably also a big topic. But what other things are you telling people and talking to people about?
Well, Nolan, I know you, and you and I are very, very similar. Retiring early for us is going to look different than it is to a lot of other people. We don't stop. I mean, it's constantly rolling, and I get emails from Nolan at, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning where most retirees are out for the night, right? But another thing that you want to think about, I think, and this is just an opinion, but I think, sometimes if you retire early and you've got nothing going on, you kind of get lazy. You're going to be kind of lazy with your day-to-day life. Yes, you can test drive it, like you said, for when school is out, that first month is also, shiny and new, and they love it, right? But that's not good for your health. I mean, laying around eating bonbons and getting fat and doing nothing all day long. I mean, bonbons is an old thing, right? We were talking about this past weekend is what bonbons were, but that's not going to be good for health.
No.
I mean, it's just not something. You have to stay active. You have to be doing something. And I got to believe that, for someone that's going to retire early, especially like, the TikToker said at 54 years old, you're definitely going to lose your sparkle. You're going to lose a lot more than your sparkle, your health, and that's going to cause more visits to the doctor's office, and you're just not going to feel well. Yeah, I would love the opportunity to maybe test drive it, but
Yeah.
I don't know what my retirement's going to look like, and I don't know that retiring early and sitting around doing nothing all day is going to work for me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, and like what Nolan said, take kind of test driving. If you guys are readers, any of our listeners out there, I would recommend book The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. If you guys have ever read that, and he talks about a concept in that book of mini retirements, taking a month or two off throughout your working years for the most part to travel, pursue any hobbies, maybe even explore new interests or new jobs. And so, I think, what you said, Scott, is true. You got to keep that, you got to keep your skills up in retirement if you're going to retire early. If it's volunteering, just gaining new perspectives, travel around the world, things like that, to recharge yourself, to kind of recreate and reinvigorate yourself for the long term. And really, we can help you do that as well. That just involves, in the book, he talks about things like automation, and making sure that a lot of your processes and systems in your business are automated, having virtual assistants, and just kind of scheduling things the right way. Making sure you have the cash flows for those assistants and things like that, and your cash flows for your travel and your business expenses and all that. So we can help you with that in your financial plan. But yeah, I'd agree. I think mini retirements, a lot of them, would be a lot better than an early retirement.
The beauty of a test drive is that if you find something that isn't working for you, like test driving a car, well, you can go back to the drawing board. You're not fully committed to it. There is a little bit of homework that you have to do prior to retiring. That is figuring out what you want to retire to. The team at America's Retirement Headquarters, they're not going to say, oh, you should take up golf or you should go, see every ballpark. It's what you want to do. But then their job is to help make those retirement dreams into a retirement reality. So when you're ready to have that conversation, 419-794-3030 is the phone number. The website, arhq.com.